Hello there! Welcome to the Corporate Fiber and Materials Benchmark Program, also known as the CFMB program. My name is Stephanie Maurice, and I'm a textile and materials specialist and part of the CFMB team. In this video of the How-To series, we will show you how to enter data on the volumes of materials which your company has placed onto the market for the reporting year. This is primarily completed by answering questions in the survey section called Materials Balance Sheet. The Materials Balance Sheet identifies which materials your company sources and how much was sourced of those materials. We use the term material as an overarching term for raw materials and their initial processing, which includes both fibers which can be spun into yarn and non-fibers that are not spun into yarn but are otherwise transformed into textile products or product components. For example, down, leather, or rubber. Your responses to which materials does your company source will determine the material modules available in your company's survey. This year, we also have generic modules available to support detailed reporting on sustainability activities for materials like cashmere, hemp, linen, and rubber. To complete this section of the survey, you will need to prepare your company's uptake data for the reporting period. Uptake data, or volume-based data associated with how much material your company sourced, can be calculated at various points in the supply chain. For example, the most accurate data for your company might be at product level using product composition data, product weights, and number of products. Other companies may have the most accurate data at fabric level or yarn level. Please use the calculation approach which is a best fit for your company and will produce the most accurate results. For more information on best practices for completing uptake data calculations, please see the Textile Exchange Fiber Uptake Guide, which was developed in collaboration with the Partnership for Sustainable Textiles in Germany, Waste and Resources Action Program in the UK, as well as with support from the Global Organic Textile Standard and the Better Cotton Initiative. To support your uptake calculations, we've prepared an Excel calculator for you to convert your uptake into fiber level estimations. You can click the download link for this calculator in the survey. In the section called Balance Sheet 1, you will select what material types your company sourced over the reporting period. The reporting period for 2020 is typically January 1st to December 31st, 2019. However, your company may adjust this depending on your fiscal year or buying calendar. Importantly, your CFMB reporting cycle should align with your annual reporting cycle, so you can easily track progress in line with your internal reporting. We do not expect you to make a separate calculation for CFMB. Before we walk through actual reporting in the survey, it is worth note that you are able to hover over any underlined text to view a definition. For example, other known fibers includes other materials which are not spun into yarn, including natural rubber, synthetic leather, and plant-based leather. Your material selections in Balance Sheet 1 will determine which tables you see in Balance Sheet 2. Balance Sheet 2 will ask for detailed reporting of your portfolio of programs for the material types which your company selected as sourced. For example, if you do not click that you source any wool, the wool portfolio table will not be visible to you. This filtering function has been set up to help keep your balance sheet as clean and easy to read as possible. Similarly, your material selections in the balance sheet will determine which material modules or sections of the survey are available for you to view. Once sections 1 to 4 of the balance sheet are complete, the material modules which are in scope for your survey will be unlocked. We will discuss this in more detail when we explain Balance Sheet 4. Balance Sheet 2 is focused on your company's fiber portfolio, or the group of programs, including conventional, which you source and which can be spun into yarn. In this section, you will report on uptake volumes of conventional fibers and programs which are identified by Textile Exchange as material-specific initiatives, standards, and processes having a higher sustainability performance than the conventional alternative of that material type. We will now demonstrate how you complete reporting for specific programs or conventional fibers by following these 9 steps. Step 1. Identify which specific programs you sourced from during the reporting period, and in the first column, select Used. Step 2. Please select whether that material type was used to produce apparel, home textile, or mixed for a combination of both. Step 3. Please enter a numerical amount of material which your company sourced during the reporting period. Step 4. Please select the unit associated with the number entered for volume. Data can be reported in kilograms, metric tons, or pounds. Step 5. Please select the supply chain stage associated with the volume reported. As mentioned previously, companies can complete uptake calculations at different points in the supply chain. The main stages this can be calculated are product level, fabric level, yarn level, and fiber level. For example, if uptake volume is calculated based upon product compositions and weights, please select product level. Step 6 is the conversion rate. In order to aggregate industry uptake totals, all uptake reporting is converted to fiber level, or the stage before material is transformed into yarn. To convert to fiber level reporting, the uptake volume is multiplied by a number which is called a conversion rate in order to estimate the amount of fiber needed to achieve the uptake volume at another supply chain stage, in effect accounting for those supply chain losses. For example, the product to fiber conversion rate for cotton is 1.65. Put simply, 1.65 units of fiber is required to produce 1 unit of material at product level. In the conversion rate column, the Textile Exchange default conversion rate will display in the cell based upon the product type and the reporting tier selected. If your company would like to use a custom conversion rate, please delete the value and enter your company's custom rate. For more information on the Textile Exchange conversion rates, please see the Fiber Conversion Methodology Guide. Step 7 is completed automatically in the survey, converting all reported uptake into a value in metric tons. Step 8 is Estimate Share Percentage. This step only applies if your company used a material but is unable to identify a volume. If this is the case, please enter an approximate percentage that material represents of your sourcing of that material type. For example, if you sourced recycled cotton and know that this is approximately 2% of your total cotton sourcing, please enter 2. Step 9 is automatically completed in the survey. This is the final uptake volumes in metric tons, which also includes any estimates you may have entered. Please repeat steps 1 through 9 for each unique fiber type your company sourced during the reporting period. If you selected that your company sourced other fibers, uptake reporting is slightly different. The initial columns in the table are consistent in approach as previously described. This includes columns used, product category, weight, unit, reporting tier, conversion rate, and final uptake in metric tons. After this, there are 3 additional columns to complete. This allows you to enter what percentage of the uptake of a material is conventional, what percentage is recycled, and what percentage is preferred renewable. For example, if you reported 100 metric tons of flax or linen, 25 metric tons could be certified organic and the remainder conventional. In that case, you would enter 25 under preferred renewable, 75 under conventional, and 0 under recycled. Balance Sheet 3 is focused on your company's non-fiber portfolio, or the group of materials which you source which is not a fiber which can be spun into yarn. In this section, you will report on uptake volumes of conventional materials, or the mainstream material options which have not been produced in a more sustainable way, as well as any more sustainable programs. The initial section focuses on down and feather uptake, which is completed using the same process as described in Balance Sheet 2 for fibers. The second non-fiber section is leather. The leather uptake calculations are quite different from the fiber calculations. Instead of using weight as a basis of calculating uptake, for leather, we ask that reporting is completed in terms of surface area. Why surface area? During our leather pilot last year, most companies told us that they're able to identify the total area of finished leather from internal systems or from suppliers. However, if you are unable to identify surface area, please use the Textile Exchange Uptake Calculator Excel. In this file, you're able to enter quantities of different types of products that your company placed onto the market during the reporting year. For example, you can enter 1,000 leather jackets and 10,000 pairs of adult trainers, and the calculator will estimate the area of finished leather associated with your products. For reporting leather uptake in the survey, please follow these 8 steps. Step 1. Identify which specific programs you source from during the reporting period, and in the first column, select Used. Step 2. Please enter a numerical amount of material which your company sourced during the reporting period. Step 3. Please select the unit associated with the number entered for surface area. Data can be reported in square meters, square feet, or square inches. Step 4. Please select the reporting tier associated with surface area reported. This can be product level, finished leather, untanned hide, or mix, which is a combination of different reporting tiers. Step 5. Please select the product type associated with the leather uptake. Step 6 is completed automatically in the survey, converting all reported uptake into a value in square meters. Step 7 is Estimate Share Percentage. This step only applies if your company used a material, but it is unable to identify a volume. If this is the case, please enter an approximate percentage that the material represents of your leather uptake. Step 8 is completed automatically in the survey. This is the final uptake volumes in square meters, including any estimates you may have entered. The next section of the balance sheet 3 is Other Non-Fibers. Reporting of other non-fibers is completed in the same way as other fibers as previously explained, by reporting the initial volumetric information and then entering what percentage of uptake of a material is conventional, what percentage is recycled, and what percentage is preferred renewable. Balance Sheet 4 provides an overview of uptake reported, allows you to enter an estimated percentage of uptake, and introduces priority thresholds. Firstly, if you indicated that you used a material type, but you were unable to report any uptake data for any programs or conventional volume of that material, the Estimate Uptake Share Percentage column will have an unshaded cell where you'll be able to enter a number to represent that estimated percentage of uptake that the material type represents. For example, if you know that you source wool but do not have a specific volume, but know that this is approximately 2% of your total fiber sourcing, please enter 2 in Estimate Uptake Share Percentage. Final uptake metric tons is completed automatically in the survey, which includes any estimates. Final uptake share percentage is also completed automatically based upon the final uptake totals and presents the percentage breakdown of sourcing of the various fiber types. The last 3 columns of the table relate to priority threshold and priority status. There are 3 parameters that determine whether a material, fiber or non-fiber, is a priority and must be completed for an overall benchmark score and placement in the Material Change Index, or MCI. These parameters are scale, risk, and opportunity. Scale means that the fiber represents a percentage of volumetric use beyond a threshold of 10% of overall fiber use. Or, in the case of non-fibers, it represents 10% of the final product range, i.e., by count of products with major components of non-fiber materials, like down and leather. The next parameter is risk. If a material type is a priority based on risk, the material, fiber or non-fiber, represents an important risk to the company. Risks associated with a low-volume material include sourcing from high environment and/or socio-economic risk sourcing regions, animal welfare risk, reputational risk, and others. The last parameter is opportunity. If a material type is priority based on opportunity, a company has seized the opportunity to advance the sustainability of the raw material, even if the material is below the volumetric use threshold or is not considered a significant risk. Priority threshold is related to scale and is the textile exchange percentage where, if exceeded, reporting on that material type is required for the material change index. In the case of fibers, this is 10% of the total fiber portfolio. Column priority by threshold displays the material types which are priority and required for the material change index reporting, and those which are non-priority and reporting is optional. Under column final priority status, please adjust the priority status for your materials, indicating where, through completing a risk and/or opportunity assessment, some materials may be identified as priority for sustainability engagement, and therefore also priority for reporting. It is worth note that your company may decide not to complete a module, even if the material used is above the volume threshold and is recognized as a key risk. For example, your company may be in the process of decommissioning the use of a specific material, but this transition may not yet be complete. In this case, you could change the status from priority to minority. If any thresholds are changed, we ask that you please provide an explanation in the text box below the table. As previously mentioned, for non-fibers, the priority threshold is set using the percentage of final products where the material type is a major component. For example, this would exclude leather labels on denim, but it would include products where there's a major leather component. For example, a leather jacket, a leather bag which is lined with another material, or shoes with leather uppers. Once all priority thresholds are finalized and you have identified all priority materials for your survey this year, Saving Balance Sheet 4 will trigger the survey to unlock your applicable material modules. The material modules are sections in the survey which ask detailed questions on the risk management, investment, transparency, targets, uptake, and impact monitoring of a specific material type. For the 2020 survey, we've introduced generic material modules. If you selected that you used other fibers or other non-fibers, you're able to report on your company's engagement on other materials such as linen, hemp, cashmere, or rubber. It is worth note that generic modules are not required for MCI scoring. The last page of the materials balance sheet section is called the metadata form. Metadata means data about data, and this page or form is intended to provide an overview of how update calculations were completed. This gives Textile Exchange increased visibility into uptake calculations so we can validate if your company's reporting methodology is consistent year on year. This metadata will also inform Textile Exchange on best practices and allow for further progress on alignment and comparability of data within industry. This form might also assist your company in keeping a record of how calculations have been completed for internal data control and, in the event of staff turnover, can be used as a guide to ensure that comparable data continues to be collected. Many answers in the initial questions of the metadata form are pre-filled from your previous responses in the survey, but we have included this so it centralizes all the information in one page, which can be saved as a PDF and filed in your company's systems. Please fill any gaps which may remain. Next, please confirm the scope of data reported. This includes a specific time period of uptake data and any product categories, fiber categories, or major components of products which are excluded from your company's uptake calculations. Data methodology questions then further clarify the data sources of your calculation, specific conversion rates used in uptake calculations, the process of data cleaning, validation of calculations, and if any changes were made from previous uptake reporting methodologies. To finish the form, we ask that you please describe any opportunities for improvement. Together, this provides an overview of your company's calculations and will support consistent year-on-year reporting in the future. You have now completed the majority of your uptake reporting through your responses in the material balance sheet section. Your data will appear again in other sections of the survey, which we'll now show you. And for specific materials, we may ask additional questions for further detail. The first place in the survey where you will see your uptake data again is in section 5 of the material modules in question 5B. Looking at an example of a cotton module, you will see a historic overview of your uptake volumes from 2015 to 2019. 2015 to 2018 will be auto-populated from previous survey submissions, and 2019 data is directly auto-populated from your responses in the balance sheet and cannot be edited. If you wish to make changes to 2019 numbers, please return to the Materials Balance Sheet module to adjust. For any data from 2015 to 2018 which may be missing or incorrect, we ask that you please edit the values in question 5b, ensuring that the data reported is at fiber level. Correcting this data will ensure that your year-on-year comparisons in your company's scorecard are as accurate and complete as possible. Your company will receive your scorecard once the survey is closed and all data is validated. This is because the scorecard includes a comparison against industry averages. Advanced and premium scorecards include outcome and impact infographics modeled on your uptake data, making this data and how we can support you with progress tracking very important. Sustainable Apparel Coalition members will benefit from more detailed modeling using Hague MSI impact data. The scorecards will be discussed in a future video, but overall, it is worth having a comprehensive data submission, and we strongly encourage you to please adjust any historic data which may be incorrect. Question 5c in the material modules asks your company to provide a breakdown of the types of your recycled materials. This question is structured around three main tables. One table for recycled textiles, one table for recycled non-textiles, and one for unknown. For the recycled textiles table, please report the percentage share of your uptake of that material, which is pre-consumer recycled textiles, post-consumer recycled textiles, or of recycled textile origin, but you're not sure if this is pre or post-consumer. Complete this process again for non-textile feedstock, and for any remaining feedstock where you have no knowledge of process or origin, please report this under unknown. The polyester and nylon modules ask for detailed information on all polyester and polyamide materials your company has sourced. As a reminder, definitions of any of the underlined words or terms such as pre-consumer, post-consumer recycled materials, etc., are available by hovering over this in the survey. If any non-textile based feedstock is reported in either of these modules, we ask if you can please indicate the source of that feedstock, i.e., whether it is derived from plastic bottles, ocean waste, something else, or if it's not known. Next, we ask you to please report on the portion of that recycled material which is chemically recycled, mechanically recycled, or if you're not sure of the recycling process. Lastly, please indicate if any of the recycled feedstock for this material type was sourced from a socially responsible collection initiative, such as First Mile, Plastics for Change, or another initiative which may have robust social credentials or fair trade certification. An overview of your company's recycled materials portfolio will be auto-populated in your Materials Circularity, section CR6. A historical summary of your company's recycled materials portfolio is being built on last year's submission for 2018 data and will now include 2019 data, which you've reported in the balance sheet presented by material type. Please confirm that this is accurate, and if so, please select the share of your company's portfolio which is recycled. If the data is not correct, please return to the material balance sheet to correct your input data. Similarly, a summary of post-consumer recycled textiles for 2018 and 2019 is presented by material type. This data is being specifically requested as it will help feed valuable insight back to the sector and help monitor the transformation of the textile system, which will not be truly circular until companies can source end-of-life textile material as the feedstock for new products. Please confirm that this data is accurate, and if so, please select the share of your company's recycled portfolio which is post-consumer textiles. We appreciate that estimates may be inevitable, especially if you are just beginning to report on this. However, it is worth note that there is always an opportunity to adjust previous reporting as your company's data collection improves. If any data is not correct for this year's reporting, please return to question 5c in the applicable material module to correct your data or add estimates. If previous year's data requires adjusting, please manually adjust this in the table in CR6. This concludes our detailed look at uptake data reporting in the CFMB survey. We understand this is quite a large topic, but we are hopeful that the detailed explanations will support you in completing your survey this year. Please do not hesitate to email us at cfmb@textileexchange.org if you have any further questions. Thank you.